I'm going to talk about Stormy Impact winning the 5 furlong dash at Epsom on Saturday. A brilliant winner for Warren Fentiman and a brilliant ride as well. And I'll touch on why it's a good ride in a minute. But sometimes, as a jockey, the biggest favour a horse can do for you is by not having the pace to go with those up in front when the pace up in front is too strong and not sustainable. And that's effectively what has happened to Stormy Impact here. And sometimes it can be for truly not being fast enough, and other times it can be from just getting on the back foot. When a horse is on the back foot, it can't show off its true pace. Either way, within a furlong, Stormy Impact is in second last in front of one horse who is truly struggling with the pace. But the reason this works, or this happens, is because Stormy Impact's sectionals effectively stay much more consistent than those in front who've gone faster and then slowed down rapidly at the end. Stormy Impact does slow down at the end and is slowing down at the line, even though visually it looks like he is sort of getting going or staying on strongly. But the most important thing is that his last furlong is significantly quicker than those around him, which you can obviously see with the naked eye. So why have they gone too fast in front? Well, normally it's a culmination of factors, and in this instance it looks like there's a mad rush on from plenty. So loads of horses want to be in front, or they want to be in second or third, or they want clear daylight ahead of them. So there is that break from the gates where people are trying to get on the front foot as much as they can and control the race and then sit. The problem is when too many do that, you end up by committing to plan A and just trying to keep there because you've done that and you've started there, that effectively you just burn a little bit too much energy, and then at the end you've got nothing left. So let's talk about why it was a good ride, and very quickly you can see Stormy Impact was on the back foot and Warren is getting animated. But what he does well is that he sort of cajoles the horse along, and oftentimes when your horse finds itself on the back foot, they don't give their full run and they lose their rhythm. They don't really want to go and try their hardest, and Warren's effectively trying to motivate the horse to keep going and hang in there a little bit, but he never commits too hard. He gives him a flick of the whip probably 2 furlongs out, but then is quite sort of just smooth with it all. He's always smooth with the horse and doesn't really commit and ask for a full effort until inside the final furlong, and then he really starts to motor. Another reason why it's a good ride is that in a post-race interview, Richard Fahey told Warren that he should aim to go stand side, and he went against that because he could just see there was too much traffic on that side. That is the side to go at Epsom on the straight track. But in this instance, what he did well was that he focused or prioritised a smooth run over the sort of track preference. Any check in this race and he effectively wouldn't have got there at all, and it just looked smooth. So every bit of movement, even as he drifted across the track, it was always in keeping with keeping the horse in a good rhythm. And with the sectional timings, we can use data to back up what we saw with our eyes, and you can see, I think the first thing to notice is that Stormy Impact was clearly slowing down at the line. His final furlong was a whole second slower than his penultimate furlong, but still his finishing speed percentage was very close to 100%, so effectively closer to an optimally run race. So he was 99.55. I'm not 100% sure what is considered the true optimum, but I think sort of between 100 and 103 ish, I don't know, 103, but I'll have to find out on that one before I talk about this sort of thing anymore. But I know that when you drop below 100%, it means that you are finishing weakly and you might have run a sub-optimum race. But what's important is those around him are much slower, so they're much closer to 95% finishing speed, and whereas his finishing furlong was under 12 seconds, everything else was over 12 seconds, and a good second and a half slower, some of those behind him, than their penultimate furlong, which says the pace truly collapsed. Well done, Warren, and well done, Stormy Impact, for knowing your boundaries and running to those.